It's out of Africa and into the United States of America. A whole new continent, a whole new country, and a whole new world to explore. It sure is big, and with so much to see and do, it's hard to know where to begin. It's a wild voyage of discovery, with plenty of interesting characters to meet along the way. Their journey takes them to some of the most amazing places on our beautiful planet, with the promise of fun, mystery, and excitement at every turn. Join our two young explorers, Luca and Melua, as they embark on the adventure of a lifetime, discovering all the wild and wonderful treasures scattered around America. Welcome to Keystone, South Dakota. Luca and Melua have traveled far to come and see one of America's most famous sculptures. The larger-than-life, magnificent Mount Rushmore, carved right out of the Black Hill Mountains.
Wow, I never expected these sculptures to be so big.
Off they go to get a closer look.
I'm not surprised it took them so long to carve Mount Rushmore. It must have been dangerous.
The giant sculptures are really high up, which means the sculptors who built them needed to take their time.
Incredible! It took them longer than my whole life to carve Mount Rushmore.
Gutzon Borglum was the mastermind behind the whole idea. Close to the memorial is a list of all the workers he and his son recruited to work on the project.
John Gutzon Delamont Borglum was the American artist and sculptor who first came up with the idea of carving the Black Hill Mountain into the faces of 4 American presidents that had a big impact on American history. From left to right, that's George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Theodore Roosevelt, and Abraham Lincoln. Around 400 people worked over 14 years to complete the humongous sculpture. The equipment they used wasn't very fancy. Most of the scaffolding was just made of wood, and sculptors hung from special seats made of metal that were held up by chains. When they first started carving Mount Rushmore, George Washington was supposed to be in the middle. But when they discovered the rock to the left of him was weak, they had to move Jefferson and Lincoln to the other side. That's why Lincoln is so far from the others.
It's amazing to see the detail in these sculptures. These guys were true artists.
There are many viewpoints where you can look through a telescope to see the sculpture up close.
The sculptures look so smooth from far, but if you look close, you can see a few cracks in the rocks.
The mountain on which Mount Rushmore was carved is constantly exposed to wind, rain, and sun, which can weather down rock.
There's a secret room behind the sculpture that has some important documents in it.
Behind Roosevelt's head is a vault designed to hold documents about the history of the United States. On the walls of this chamber is written the story of Mount Rushmore, along with an explanation of why Washington, Jefferson, Roosevelt, and Lincoln were chosen.
The first president on the left is George Washington, the very first president of the United States of America. He was president between the years 1789 and 1797. Next to George Washington is Thomas Jefferson, who famously wrote the Declaration of Independence. Next to him is Theodore Roosevelt. Among many things, Roosevelt cared a lot about nature So he created and expanded many national parks that would protect wilderness for many years to come. On the far right is President Abraham Lincoln, who famously put an end to slavery in the USA.
I think it's a great idea to carve these presidents in the rocks. That way, they'll be remembered forever.
Mount Rushmore stands in the Black Hills National Forest. Time to head out and explore. Most of the trees in the forest are called ponderosa pine trees. It can get really cold here in the winter, and pine trees are perfectly adapted to survive in the snow. The Black Hills are formed by ancient rock that was exposed by weathering over many years. So, there are plenty of places to clamber up, but Luca and Melua are looking for the perfect spot to get a better view of the monument. Up they go. With a little teamwork, they make it to the top and finally get the perfect view. From the rock, they also get a view of some of the local wildlife. Amongst the golden grass, they see beautiful pronghorns, some resting and some grazing. They also see herds of mule deer with their long ears and beautifully branched antlers, enjoying the sun while they search for tasty snacks. What an interesting day. Join Melua and Luca on their next exciting kids safari adventure.
Hi, I am Luca.
And I'm Melua.
Join us on the most exciting animal safaris and adventures.
As we explore the African bush with weird and wonderful creatures.
We travel from ocean to desert, from forest to swamps, and discover the natural wonders of this world.
Catch our Kids Safari on Lion Mountain TV. Click and subscribe for free. Available on Apple, Android, and PC.